70 Colorized first day of issue Basketball Hall of Fame half dollar at $249.95. And Mike, you and I think, have presented this live in the studio.
Oh, this is one of the most spectacular coins. So the United States government, they do all of these fantastic things in the midst of this incredible pandemic, that has basically reduced their production. They promised that they would make in 2020 the very first colorized coin ever made by the United States government, and boy, did they keep their word. Look at this spectacular coin. Now, it's not just the first colorized coin ever made by the United States government. This is a special tranche of those coins. And understand, the first colorized coin, you assume they make, 1,000 or 100,000 or 200,000 or 500,000 or 1 million. They made 75,000 coins. And of those 75,000 coins, a tiny percentage of them, 2% of them, as a matter of fact, were made available, in essence, at the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Mass. This special first day of issue, this, in essence, courtside release or courtside ceremony is what you had with this. So I have got these exclusive, this Basketball Hall of Fame, the Naismith Private Collection. We've got the basketball, the courtside release. I've got first day of issue. I've got the basketball core. All of those coins came through me, every single solitary one of them. The first official colorized coins by the United States Mint from that first day of issue. Not only did they colorize the basketball, but the rim and the net. I think it is truly and utterly spectacular to be able to do that. And if we get in close on the colorization, not only did they color the basketball, but the lines, the seams in the ball, that black that's in there is colorized as well. So that's such an incredibly painstaking process to be able to get these in PR70. And like I said, 2% of the coins were the special first day of issue Springfield Mass Basketball Hall of Fame release, which is exclusive. How many of those do you think rated 70, given all of the special things?
Not many.
Look at this coin. No, that's the problem.
Mike, is that a curved coin?
I think on the first night that we sold them, we sold 600 or so.
Yeah.
700. I think we have a couple of hundred left is all in the entire series. And then once that's sold out, this coin is irreplaceable as courtside release first day of issue.
Mike, is that a curved coin?
Yes.
Okay.
Only the third curved coin in the history of the United States Mint, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
so,
and I think I've presented the first and second one. The first one was like a baseball mitt, wasn't it?
Which was, at the time, the fastest selling coin in the history of the United States Mint that we have.
It's almost like I'm learning about coins.
Which was the second, and then this is now the third in so many ways.
Okay, very, very cool. All right, we're going to move on to the final item in our 2-hour coin show. This is a collection of the last of the silver Kennedys. It's a 20 coin half dollar roll, and I will